Welcome everybody to a new review for you guys today. We're talking about the remake for Child's Play. Now, I am a fan of the original Child's Play films from Don Mancini, and it is kind of unfortunate that they're doing this remake without any of his involvement, because they're still going to do some of the Child's Play stuff on TV over at Sci-Fi. So this is its own separate thing with its own different story because of legal reasons. Charles Lee Ray, a serial killer who put his soul inside of a killer doll, and now it's in a rogue AI, which is an interesting concept, especially in 2019. It could go either way, but some of the promotional material actually did keep me kind of interested, because I was curious to see, with this new direction, where they could take the story. Could it still be interesting and cool? And not only that, but Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker himself is going to do the voice for the new Chucky. It shows some promise, but I was cautiously optimistic going in, because, it's one of those movies that could go either way. And for the most part, I'm kind of in the middle about it, because there is stuff that I didn't really think was all that bad, but there actually was a fair amount of cringy stuff as well. I can start it with the good, at least. I think everyone in the film was doing their best with the material they were given. There really were no bad performances, especially Aubrey Plaza. She's one of those actors who kind of hit or miss in the first place. She kind of has like a dry demeanor, and she does get some funny moments in this because she is kind of a comedic actress. But for the most part, she kind of plays it serious, and I thought that it's definitely an interesting portrayal from her, actually trying to be more like a serious mother type to Andy. This new version of Andy is aged up quite a bit from the original film, which was kind of a weird choice, I think, just because it is a person that's a little bit more like the preteen, mid-teens area getting a doll for his birthday, which I don't think that's a typical thing, at least maybe not since I've been a teenager. But nevertheless, he doesn't really want the doll anyways. He kind of is just forced upon him. The big thing that is missing in this version is just the sheer lack of suspense this film has, because in the original film, there is a long period of time where you actually have no idea if the doll actually is alive or not. You have no idea if it's just Andy lying and he's actually the one going around doing the killing. Just that suspense element kept that film really interesting. But in this, you know that what the doll's all about. You know that it's a sentient AI gone rogue, and he plays around with the doll, and stuff happens while he's around with the doll, and it's just there's no suspense to be had. Even when he goes on the killing spree in this film, there's really not a lot of suspenseful moments. It's just a lot of the typical modern jump scary kind of moments, which in this film got really frustrating, I have to say. I'm really not a big fan of the jump scares, but the ones in this are probably the cheapest ones you get, where they walk in front of the camera and a loud noise comes for no reason whatsoever, or someone jumps out of the shadows and starts screaming at the camera. Just the cheap stuff like that. I really wish that they had kept more of these suspenseful elements as the original. Of course, this is its own version, but if you're going to compare the two, definitely the first film, the original, has the better suspense and horror. As far as the new design for Chucky, I think it's okay. At some points, it actually doesn't look half bad, especially in the darkness when its eyes decide to glow red. But for the most part of the runtime, it's just really weird looking, and not a good way. It's creepy, but not in a scary way. It's creepy and that doesn't look natural. That is a really weird animatronic toy. I don't know why anyone would buy that toy, especially since it connects to all your stuff. It's kind of like the Siri or the Google Home of animatronic toys, because one of the new powers, I guess it's obvious from the trailers, is he can control a bunch of the Caslin core different products. So, he takes control of many of those products throughout the film, which I guess is them trying to give Chucky kind of new abilities for this version to stand out. But it felt really weird in the context of the film when he takes stuff over and other dolls are around and stuff like that. It's just really weird. I just wish the design was a little bit better, because the animatronics are a little wonky at times, because it looks more like a toy. I guess I'll give him that. But the original design from the Don Mancini films is much more terrifying and much more realistic and scary looking than you would expect from a film that comes out in 2019 with modern technology. And like I said, Mark Hamill is the new voice of Chucky. Of course, he can never replace Brad Dourif in our hearts, but I think he did a fine job with the role. It's nothing noteworthy, really. It's just a casual Mark Hamill performance as a voice actor. It kind of sounded like hints of the Joker at times. I mean, the Joker probably is his most iconic voice acting role. Obviously, he's Luke Skywalker in the Star Wars films. But as far as voice acting goes, he's a very talented voice actor as well. And you can certainly tell he tried his best to make these lines scary and menacing, but the script that he's given, the dialogue he's given, really just isn't that great or scary. Sometimes it's just really cringy. It's not even funny cringy. It's just oh, why did they have this doll say stuff like this is for Tupac? I mean, stuff like that. Why was that in the script? That's just so cringy. If you're a horror fan that likes blood, guts, and gore and all that, you're definitely going to be satisfied with some of the kills in this. That's what we come here for the most part. Much more violent than I was expecting from a Child's Play film. I guess that's their way that they wanted to up the ante compared to some of the other films in the franchise. Definitely really bloody, some really grotesque humor as well. It was interesting, kind of like a black comedy kind of thing. It kind of felt out of place at times because the tone does shift a lot between trying to be funny and scary, and it kind of delivers a little bit of each, but fails more than it delivers. Yeah, this film, I just kind of had a mixed experience with it because there is some elements that I thought were fine, and there's some elements I didn't really think were that great either. It's definitely maybe like a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, maybe somewhere around that range, because you can have fun with it just if you want to pop it on. If you're a fan of the Child's Play series, I don't know how you're going to react to some of the changes, because it is like a completely different movie, and the Child's Play era of stuff is still going to go on with Don Mancini, so it's kind of like a divided audience, I would say, in some respects. But there's elements there. I don't know if they're going to make another one of these. I mean, I don't know if they can legally or not. I'm not sure, but it's interesting the way this film ends, if they're going to make another one or not. I don't know. But let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think of this Child's Play film when you see it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Do you think this is, you know, a potentially good remake? Are you not a fan of this remake? Are you still going to enjoy the Don Mancini-led TV series and all that stuff over at Sci-Fi? Let's all talk things movies in the comments, because you know I like talking all things movies. But thanks so much for checking my review for Child's Play. If you liked it, make sure you give it a like, hit that subscribe button so you can update with my movie reviews, trailer reactions, unboxings, and more. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.